everyone. Today we are doing a Zentangle Doodle art with a watercolor background. And as I prepare my canvas or my watercolor paper, I am using artist tape here to create two squares on my paper to do the Zentangle paradox pattern. Now if I had masking fluid I probably could use that, but I don't have that, so I'm just using the artist tape and putting that down. And I'm going to speed through the watercolors here because everybody's seen me put watercolors down before, and there really is there's no rhyme or reason as to why I'm doing a pattern like this. It's just what came to me to put on this paper. So you create any type of background you wish, and you won't be disappointed with it. So I just slow it down here so you can see what it's like in real time. This is how slow I was going, or fast, however you want to look at it, when I was putting on the watercolors. And I'm creating a nice little, looks like wave pattern throughout, and I'm hoping my tape is down good enough so it does not leak underneath the tape. But if it does, we'll work with whatever we get out of this. The colors I chose were from my Komarabe watercolor set. You see yellow, blue, green, and purple. Why I chose those, I just let my intuition flow and just picked from the palette as to what I wanted to use. So you do the same, just choose whatever colors suit you. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to crumple up some tracing paper, just lay this on the top of my watercolor until it dries, put something heavy on top of it, and then when it dries we will be back to finish. So this didn't take very long to dry, and I just removed my sketchbooks and the paper and test out to make sure the paper is dry, and I'm going to continue now with my doodle and Zentangles. So I'm just tracing the lines of the boxes that I created, because in these boxes I want to put the Zentangle paradox pattern. And if you haven't seen the tutorial on that, by all means click above or in the description box below to go check out and see exactly how to do this in real time. I'm just going slow enough so you can see how I lay down the pattern, and then I will pick up my speed. When this pattern gets done, it looks kind of complicated, but it really is very simple to do, so make sure you check out the tutorial. And this is the foundation of this Zentangle Doodle art that I'm doing with the watercolor background, is these two boxes that are the paradox pattern. I talk a lot about intuitive doodling and intuitive art, and that's where you do not really have a vision of what you're going to create. You just begin to create. So when I started this, I just put the paper down and decided to make two boxes. Didn't have a clue as to what I was going to do, but those boxes lent to the Zentangle paradox pattern, as you can see. And I thought that was a nice add to the doodle art, because I'm merging Zentangles, watercolors, and doodles, everything I love to do in one piece. Well, not everything, but a few things I love to do in one piece. Now you can see I traced the outside of that tape and removed it, and there was some bleed underneath, which, hey, it's going to happen. If you have masking fluid, it won't, but with the tape, I just didn't push it down hard enough. And with that, I'm just outlining the edges And I have a nice little triangle up top, and spin the paper around and see what we're going to do. So now I begin doodling. Like I said, I don't have a pattern or a reason why I'm doing the things I'm doing. I'm just letting my intuition guide me as to what I want to place on the paper. That is the fun part. There is no right, there is no wrong. Remember, if you resonate with this piece, then there's a message in it for you. And obviously, since I'm creating it, there's messages in it for me. So I am just going about doing my doodling, and this is really relaxing to do. It's a stress reliever. So if you've never tried watercoloring or doodling or putting the two of them together, then I do recommend that you do try. I have quite a few tutorials on this channel which will guide you through, so feel free to check them out. Everything you need for this is in the description box below, and if you don't have it, just improvise like I did here. If you have masking fluid, then by all means use that. If you don't, then go ahead and use some tape, artist tape, or you can even use painter's tape, whatever's not going to rip your paper. So I put the same paradox pattern in that little triangle up on the top, and now I am just outlining interesting parts of the watercolor and just letting it flow. So I do see some patterns within the watercolor, so I'm going to emphasize those patterns and just with my marker make sure I outline them. If you enjoy doodling, lettering, drawing, watercolor, Zentangles, then by all means make sure you hit the subscribe button and give this a thumbs up if you like it. This helps me out on YouTube in the algorithms and trying to get this video out there so everybody can see it. So I'm just outlining the areas that are interesting or what areas that have bled underneath the tape, and I'm doing that with my water resistant marker, and I think that lends to an interesting pattern. As you can see, I'm just going over a few areas as I would doodle. There's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. I'm just following some lines on the paper, and I think some of those lines were created when I put the tracing paper on to dry. So this is where I put doodling and zentangling together in one piece. So I'm just placing doodles along the edges, and I'm still utilizing the patterns on the paper. That is what I tend to do when I doodle. I just let it go and let it flow. I keep spinning my paper around, and then I see different patterns and different shapes, and then I'm able to go along the lines of whatever I see. And I'm utilizing doodle patterns, Zentangle patterns, and I'm just letting things flow. Now, if you've looked on the channel before, you'll see some of these patterns before. They're just ingrained in me, and I've used them on several different pieces, but every piece looks different and unique. And the nice thing about it is there is no right and there is no wrong when it comes to creating a Zentangle doodle art. So as I look at this, I'm beginning to see this kind of looks like the floor of the ocean to me. So if you like this, guys, make sure you give it a thumbs up, comment below, and let me know if you tried this. And by all means, hit the bell for notifications for every time I upload a new video. And if you're going to try this with me, please put it in the comment box. I would like to know that you're attempting to try this doodle with me. And if you like what you see here, then by all means, then you're going to like these two videos up on the screen. So thank you for stopping in, and I'll see you again next Monday.